Hey guys, it's RodimusPrimal. I am back with another video, and today we have got some casting news for Transformers Rise of the Beast. It may or may not make you excited because some people really wanted it to be one of the original voice cast members. We also have some news as far as the Transformers collaborative front because there are going to be some interesting choices for the collaborative Transformers coming forward. And we also have a Transformer who is finally getting his G1 Cybertronian mode, and it looks pretty cool. Of course, I got a lot to talk about, so sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon, becoming a channel member, or purchase some merch on my spring store today. Okay, so the first bit of Transformers news is actually a pleasant surprise because I never expected them to finally give us a G1 Bumblebee that is transforming into his Cybertronian mode. When the Siege line first came out, everyone was like, oh man, it would be cool if they had Wheeljack and Bumblebee in their Cybertronian modes. And in fact, I talked about it in my Wheeljack retrospective, but unfortunately, none of the other, they gave us Tetrajets, but they gave us a bunch of other characters who we never saw in the G1 cartoon in Cybertronian modes or quasi-Cybertronian modes. And we've kind of wanted this for Bumblebee for quite some time. And taking a look at it, it looks cool. I really dig it. I think it's awesome. It gives us that G1 cartoon animation model, gives him a hand blaster. It's going to be a deluxe class figure. And look what he comes with. He comes with the energy pylons, or the conductors, that Wheeljack quoted in saying, there's not enough energy in these conductors to last a Cortex. Well, that's going to be the accessories, and I think that is incredibly awesome. This is exciting news. In fact, this is probably going to be the first of the buzzworthy figures that I'm probably going to get my hands on. Of course, it's going to be a deluxe class figure, but look at the size of the box. It's huge. The box is huge for such a small figure. And I'm curious because just looking at the actual official image here, which I'm going to get in closer here so you can see it, the Cybertronian mode it's his Cybertronian saucer, so it's great, and I'm curious if they're going to give us Wheeljack. If they give us Wheeljack, please let Bumblebee be able to slide inside with the energy pylons and everything. That would be such a cool figure to make, and would be definitely something that I would want, in my collection. The only thing that kind of stinks is that the blaster here shows itself to be silver in the promotional art, but looks like the final is going to end up being a black blaster. They're not even going to paint it. And he has a jetpack, which he never had a jetpack in the, he didn't have a jetpack on Cybertron. He did have one in Dinobot Island, but I'm wondering if that jetpack is removable and maybe you can give it to the Netflix Bumblebee, which is his Earth mode. But this is one of those that I'm actually excited for. I really dig it. I think it definitely should be part of any G1 Transformers fans collection. Now, if you want to get some really interesting crossovers, this is where crossovers is going to get weird because, we had Ghostbusters and we had Back to the Future. That was really cool. I have the DeLorean. I have not opened the box for the Ecto-1 or Ectotron yet, and but there is going to be two crossovers that we have not yet seen images for, and actually it's three, but two of which we can kind of get an idea of what they're going to do. Actually, we can kind of get an idea what they're going to do with all of them, really. The first one is a Generations collaborative Amazon Prime. A lot of people have been sending me jokes. My brother-in-law sent me a text message. Everybody gets in on a joke like Amazon Prime Day is, the day that Optimus died for you. Come on, it's stupid. It's a stupid meme, but that people pass around all the time. But they are going to be doing and I guess this is going to be an Amazon truck, and it's going to be Optimus Prime as Amazon Prime. So they're probably going to take the Earthrise mold with the trailer and give us the Amazon Prime. Probably it's going to be a brown trailer or something like that, because we've seen kind of like, I've seen people do a lot of digibashes before for an Amazon Prime, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to end up looking just like those digibashes overall. The next one is weird. Universal Monsters. Now, if you guys know, I spent some time at Universal, and I thought it was like, wouldn't it be kind of cool if Transformers did some more crossovers? I thought about it while I was down there. I'm guessing somebody at Hasbro thought about the same thing, because we all know that Universal does this whole, has the ride that's there. So I'm sure this is going to end up being in the gift shops. But the first one, they're going to be doing Universal Monsters crossing over with Transformers. So we're going to have Transformers figures redecoed as the classic Universal Monsters. And the first one we know of is Dracula. So Draculus. Now, thinking about what molds they're going to use, can only guess it's probably going to be, well, maybe the Titans Return Mind Wipe. They'll probably redeco that because it's already an existing bat, and you can just make it look like Dracula and make it a headmaster as well, so the headmaster itself looks like Dracula. It's kind of corny, but it's a neat idea, and they're doing a lot of other crossovers too. Because the next crossover event that has been announced, and we're probably going to see toy images of this first before we see anything else, is going to be a Jurassic Park collaborative with Transformers. Now, if you want my honest opinion, I think what ended up happening, and the reason why Hasbro was able to secure a deal, and the reason why we're seeing Dracula, is because Jurassic Park also has a deal with Universal. So it's really all to do with Universal as a whole. And if you've ever been to Universal Studios, you know that like they have a lot of Transformer stuff decked out in addition to Jurassic Park and Harry Potter. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Harry Potter crossover. The Back to the Future stuff is already like there with Universal because they have the Back to the Future music playing in the background. So I think it's all collaborative with Universal as a whole. And they gave us a promotional trailer, which I'm not going to play, but I'm going to show this one image of a T-Rex footprint, coming down, the T-Rex, foot. The only guess that I can think of is that they're probably going to give us the Kingdom Megatron with a new head, maybe, is going to transform into the Jurassic Park style T-Rex. They'll have Dinobot, maybe with a different head, maybe with the more G1 accurate head, and make that as a closer to Jurassic Park looking Velociraptor. And I would not be surprised if I think they're going to use the Earth mode Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie that transforms into a Jeep. They'll probably use that, not like the Siege Hound. And maybe they might even put a Hound head on it. I don't know. We don't know what head they're going to use, or if it's just going to be a straight redeco, or if it's going to be a complete on retool. But it's probably going to be a Jurassic Park Jeep, because it's got to have that scene where must go faster. So that would be kind of neat. And I'm curious as to what they're going to look like, but we only have like the names of it dropping so far. And that's where I'm kind of like, all right, show me the pictures, because this is just kind of like speculative at this point. But I guess you could say some people are going to be excited about it, and some people are going to be like, eh. Now, the big news that dropped today, and a lot of people are angry about, and kind of rightfully so in a way, and some people are excited at the same time, is the fact that Ron Perlman has been cast as the voice of Optimus Primal in Transformers Rise of the Beasts. This is coming right from Collider. A lot of people were like, oh, this is probably just rumor. It's going to be rumor. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be true. That yes, they are casting Ron Perlman as the voice of Optimus Primal. Side note about Peter Cullen. Just something that I took an observation about was that like they made sure to announce that it was Peter Cullen voicing Optimus Prime, and they also made statements saying that, well, as long as Peter Cullen wants to voice Optimus Prime, he can continue voicing Optimus Prime. Well, Gary Chalk himself is a very vocal voice actor, and he was the guy who was the original voice of Optimus Primal. And a lot of us who love Beast Wars. In fact, if you haven't seen my Beast Wars retrospective, you should definitely watch it. You know, Gary Chalk, David Kay, Scott McNeil, Venus Terzo, bring those people in. You know, we want to hear those voices just as much as we wanted to hear Peter Cullen and Frank Welker doing Optimus and Megatron. And back in 2005, 2006, a lot of fans were campaigning to get Peter Cullen to voice Optimus Prime in the live action film. And here, they just skipped over Gary Chalk. And Gary Chalk's a very vocal, very, very, very vocal voice actor when it comes down to he doesn't like the voice direction on things. He's been vocal about, you know, the War for Cybertron cartoon, about how the voice direction didn't sound so great. And, you know, he obviously got snubbed for Ron Perlman in the Power of the Primes cartoon. And, yeah, we didn't get Gary Chalk voicing Optimus Primal again. And to be quite honest with you, I'm kind of torn. Because I like Gary Chalk as Optimus Primal. Not so much as Optimus Prime. I'm not a fan of the Unicron trilogy take on Optimus Prime as far as voice is concerned. I prefer Peter Cullen. But as far as Optimus Primal is concerned, I thought Gary Chalk was phenomenal, and he was awesome to meet in person. He was just such a cool, laid-back, chill dude that, you know, he kind of doesn't care what anybody else thinks. And that might be the reason why Ron Perlman was chosen. Number one, Ron Perlman is a talented actor. He has done Optimus Primal in the past, so I could see where they're going with it. But Ron Perlman's Optimus Primal is very dull, you know? And Gary Chalk brought a lot of personality to Optimus Primal. But Gary Chalk probably angered some people in Hollywood, and they probably were like, you know what, we'll just give it to somebody who's already done it before, and we like him better, and we'll just go with that. And that's kind of disheartening, you know, because a lot of fans really want the original voice cast. And I'm sure there's going to be more petitions now to get David Kay to do Megatron. There's going to be more people who are going to want to see Scott McNeil and Venus Terzo and, and Richard Newman as Rhinox. We already know Rhinox has been announced, so why not get Richard Newman to do that voice? Because that voice is just as iconic as Optimus Primal. So that's kind of where I feel about it. But, you know, I'm sure that some people are going to be okay with this change because, like, again, Ron Perlman has already done Optimus Primal before, and maybe with better voice direction, we're going to get a more lively version of the character, but it's not necessarily going to make everybody happy. But I want to know what you guys think. Are you excited about this Transformers news? Are you angry or excited about Ron Perlman? Are you definitely looking forward to the Cybertron mode Origins Bumblebee? And what do you think about all these crossover events when it comes down to Transformers? Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. I have a brand new Transformers discussion coming soon, very, very soon, in fact. So stay tuned for all of that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.